ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Erev Tov. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. What a gathering of 4 different synagogues and members of the extended community. I'm honored, by the way, I'm Rabbi Rachel Salston, Rabbi of Fairlawn Jewish Center Congregation B'nai Israel. I'm honored to offer our space here for all of us to come together. We are all brokenhearted. I feel like I've been crying or on the hairline trigger of tears every moment for the past 11 days. What is there to say? We support Israel in her right to defend herself. We've been sending our support and our donations, and we continue. This is horror. I fear for the continued loss of innocent life. We support an ethical war and maintain our humanity. How? These are such challenging, contradictory things. I feel dissonance. When we're suffering, we feel shock. We also have to feel compassion for everyone. All of that spinning in our heads at the same time. And add to that when we feel dissonance, we feel even more alone in the world. Our Parsha, our Torah portion this week, is Parshat Noach. I'm reading it this week. I can't help but see it as the many possible reactions to human evil and destruction. Noach himself is in a state of shock when he gets off the ark. Without any words for the destruction he sees, he doesn't say anything. Instead, he becomes the first person to plant a vineyard, then becomes the first person mentioned in the Torah to get drunk. The Midrash criticizes him. He should have planted olives or figs. He should have made something healthy. Instead, he plants an intoxicant. He drinks it in the experience of despair and loneliness. He goes to his tent. Those of you who know the story, the situation becomes worse. He doesn't ask for help. He feels all alone in the world. I'm sure he was feeling the same confusion. He was relieved that the flood was over and that he and his family were alive. And then the other emotions set in. I have personally, I've said this before, felt very lonely and isolated in the past week. I'm sure that many of you have as well. You are not alone. We are all in shock together. We are not Noach, although we may feel like we're the only ones experiencing this. Look around you. We're all here together. We do not know what the future holds, and the heartbreaking stories of the present are unfolding and changing every minute this afternoon. The answer to this dissonance and the pain is to ask for help and to not isolate ourselves, to come together as we are now. We are shocked. We are horrified by the loss of all innocent life. I need to acknowledge that. I need to share the dissonance and how feeling conflicted in your mind, as I said before, can make you feel even more isolated. That's what I was sitting with this afternoon. We're focusing on Israel tonight, and my heart goes out to all innocent people affected by this. It was really hard to put these words together. It's hard for any of us to put words together. We're all brokenhearted, but we can come together to support each other and to be in solidarity with our siblings in Israel. We are here tonight to pray, to learn from teachers and community members, to reflect, to recite psalms, and to just be together in song. Instead of concluding with the prayer for the state of Israel, we're going to begin with it tonight, front and center. We're joined by Cantor Maria Dubinsky of Temple Avodat Shalom and Cantor David Krasner, now of the Jewish Community Center of Paramus. Please turn to page 5 in your packets.
Avinu, Avinu, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. ברך, ברך, מדינת ישראל, ראשית צמיחה גאולתנו, הגן עליה בברכה שכה, ופרוס עליה סוכת שלומך. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. ושלח אורך ועמיתך לראשיה, שריה ויועציה, ותקנם בעצה טובה מלפניך, ותקנם בעצה טובה מלפניך. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. אבינו, אבינו, שבשמיים, צור ישראל וגואלו. חסה, חסה, ידי מגיני ארץ קודשנו, והנחילים אלוהינו ישוע, ותרא ניצחון תיאתרם. ונתת שלום, שלום בארץ, ושמחת עולם, ושמחת עולם ליושביה, ונאמר ונאמר אמן.
Turn back to page 3 in the packets, Psalm 121. led by our congregant and Borough Council member, Gail Rottenstritch.
A song of ascents. Lift my eyes to the mountains. From where will my help come? My help is from Adonai, who made the heavens and the earth. Adonai, who will not let your foot slip, your guardian does not slumber. For the guardian of Israel neither sleeps nor slumbers. Adonai is your protector. Adonai is a shield on your right hand. The sun will not strike you down by day, nor the moon by night. Adonai will protect you from every evil and watch over you. Adonai will watch over your coming and your going from this time forth and ever and ever.
Amen. Thank you. יישר כוחך. On a selection from the Hebrew of that Tehillah, at the bottom of on the same page, there's also transliteration.
You start, I'll follow. You start.
Einai ele arim me'ayin me'ayin yavo esri einai ele arim me'ayin me'ayin yavo esri mi'madlon עושה שמיים וארץ, עזרי ועם השם. עושה שמיים וארץ, אשא עיני אל ההרים, מאין מאין יבוא עזרי. אשא עיני אל ההרים, מאין מאין יבוא עזרי. עזרי מעם השם, עושה שמיים וארץ. עזרי מעם השם, עושה שמיים וארץ.
Good evening, everyone. It was just 11 days ago, on Erev Shmini Atzeret, the Friday night before we received the terrible news the following morning that would forever break our hearts. I spoke with the members of the Jewish Community Center Paramus, Congregation Beth Tikvah, about a morning exactly 50 years ago when our rabbi at our synagogue in Long Island, where I grew up, shared with the shocked community the news of the outbreak of the Yom Kippur War. I know there are many here tonight who remember that bitter moment 50 years ago. Many of you are probably sitting right here in this beautiful synagogue, in this sanctuary. During this week, however, I thought about something else from that terrible time, something I had not thought about in years. 2 weeks after the outbreak of the Yom Kippur War, my family traveled from Long Island to Cherry Hill, New Jersey for a bar mitzvah. There's a lot I remember about that day, but what I remember most were the words of the rabbi who officiated at the bar mitzvah. He spoke about the tense, dangerous situation in Israel, as well as the tragic toll the war had already exacted. But I especially remember something else the rabbi said. He said that ever since the war in Israel had broken out, every time he looked at his watch, every time he looked at a clock, he reminded himself what time it was in Israel. Now I understood. This week I understood what he meant and why he said it and why he said it then. It was his own personal way, beyond staying informed, beyond sending money and attending rallies, not unlike this one. It was his own way to maintain a deep, personal, intimate, abiding, and unequivocal identification with Israel at a time when others had abandoned it, or questioned the justice of its cause, or its conduct of the war. That is what he asked of his community 50 years ago. I would like to ask all who have gathered this evening to do the same. Right now, the people of Israel need us, and we need each other. It is time to match the achdut, the unity, in Israel at this moment. If you've been following any of the Israeli media, you will see reports each day that the country has set aside the deep divisions that have marked the past year and is moving forward with purpose, strength, and courage to address the needs of its people. We who love Israel can do no less right now. We need to stand together and stick together and raise each other up. We must remain proud Jews who understand that there is no Jewish life and ultimately no Jewish security without a strong, safe, and democratic Israel. Even if too many other people can't, don't, or won't understand this. Take out your watches, my dear friends. It's 10 to 7 in the United States of America. It's 10 to 2 in Medinat Yisrael. As I look at my watch, I think of the words of Yehuda Halevi. I'll paraphrase. All of our hearts are in the east, and we are at the edge of the west. I'm asking you to do what that rabbi did 50 years ago, and those words have stayed with me since I was 12 years old. We're going together, we need to find the words and the means to express the ageless longing of the Jewish people for Zion and an enduring commitment to the people, the land, and the state of Israel. Let's accomplish this together, and may God crown all of our efforts with success. Let's all say together, Amen.
My great thanks to Rabbi Arthur Wiener of the Jewish Community Center of Paramus. You're honored to have with us Mayor Kurt Peluso, Mayor of Fairlawn, who is welcome to share some words with us, please.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today. It's tough, too, for me because coming to the Fairlawn Jewish Center, it's always under happy terms. When I was growing up in 7th grade, I was here pretty much every weekend for bar and bat mitzvahs. So it brings a smile to my face. Or I remember coming here, seeing Neil host a great event, or seeing Michael getting honored, or going to the barbecue that was here just about a month ago. And this is the first time I'm here actually for a sad occasion, but it's necessary because being together is really what we all need at a time like today. During the course of last week, I was able to attend a number of events at different temples. On Monday, I was at Shomrei Torah, and it was absolutely beautiful just seeing people from all different backgrounds and faiths and congregations coming together and standing up and listening to prayers and just being together, and that's what was needed. The following day, I was at Bris Avraham, and the same thing, a packed attendance, everyone being together, sharing prayers, sharing stories, and for those who are familiar with Bris Avraham, it's a lot of Eastern European people go there, so I shared a story about how my relatives were in Odessa, and because they were Jewish, they were forced to leave, and that's when they migrated to the Bronx. And when I mentioned Odessa, they all started cheering because there was that connection. There was that Eastern European connection, and that connection that we all have from the Jewish faith of being pushed out. And that's for us what makes Israel so special, is no matter where we are, that's our home. And I'll never forget when I was young, my great uncle Max used to sit me on the table and tell me, how lucky I am because I have 2 homes. He goes, you have a home here in Fair Lawn, New Jersey, and you'll always have a home in Israel. And that always meant so much to me. And after Bris Avraham, I got an email from a resident I met probably about 4 weeks ago when I was walking around town. And he said, Mayor, I would love for you to come to one of my Shabbat dinners. And I thought, that's so nice of him. No, so I emailed him. I said, yeah, just let me know when. Never heard back. And then last week he emails me and he goes, Mayor, I'm so sorry. He goes, I've been so busy. We would love to have you over. He goes, when would you like to come? I said, I'm so sorry this is so last minute, but I would really like to come this Friday. I think with everything going on, it would just mean so much to me if I could be at your house for Shabbat dinner. He said, of course. So I was able to attend a beautiful dinner at his house with some friends, tell stories, and just be together. And it was just such a special moment for everyone there. And now to come here today, it just means so much to me. Just seeing the news coming together with friends, neighbors, and everyone together is just beautiful. And I want to thank Rabbi Stolston for putting this together and for all her phone calls. Rabbi has been an amazing leader. As you can know, we're all scared when we saw those threats that might come this Friday. And I can't thank our Fair Lawn Police Department enough and everyone at Borough Hall who made sure there was extra security and made sure nothing could happen in our borough. And that's what we're going to continue to do, is making sure that everyone's safe and feels connected, and we could all come together to do more, because this past week I felt so small. I felt I wasn't doing enough. There's such horror going on over there in Israel. What can I do? What can I do that's more? And then I looked and saw what everyone was doing. People were donating. I know Gail put together such a phenomenal fundraiser to send over $3,000 to those who need it in Israel. Other people were collecting goods. And as we do these little things, they add up to make these big impressions. People were calling each other, checking in to see how they're doing. And then you had this sense of a community. So to all those out there who feel like, we're not doing enough, when we all do these little things, when we check in on one another, that we tell one another we love each other, when we support one another, when we give what we can to support those who are suffering overseas, we're doing a lot. And I know together as a community we continue to do that, and we continue to do the more. Thank you so much for having me. If you ever need anything, please reach out, because we're here for you. Thank you.
I'd now like to invite a member of our community, a member of Fair Lawn Jewish Center, Congregation B'nai Israel, Hagit Ashkenazi, to share some words of her experiences over the past week and a half.
Hi, good evening, everybody. It's hard to be here, very much so as an American citizen, but also an Israeli, and one that have been in the Navy over there for 12 years, served in other wars. Being here and not being there is probably one of the hardest things to feel, but I wanted to share a few things and even ask for some help from the community. I am very much, I would say, I worked very little in the last week. Most of my time have been devoted to several things that we can do from here. One is of opinion. It's a different world, and it's a different war. Social media is all over. I was apologizing my LinkedIn friends, saying I never used this platform, not professionally, but to me this was professionally when I used it, because it wasn't about Israel, it was about Western civilization. And I think this attack, Israel is just closer, it's just easier, but it's just the beginning. And we all know, we had here the experience of 9/11, and if we all want not to have another one, we need to understand who we are dealing with. So I'd like really to ask help in that perspective. Everybody needs to understand that as the time passes, we are losing some of the momentum, and they are getting some of the momentum, and just quantity-wise, they're bigger than us. And so if we don't fight, they win. And I shared as much as I could, and I really please ask and almost beg everybody to be active, yourself, kids, family, anybody that can be active in supporting Israel. This is the new diplomacy, and we all need to take part of it, because that's how it works today, unfortunately. The other thing that unfortunately I had to be involved is with the, I don't know even how to call them, but the hostages, the kidnapped people. One of our best friends' daughter is among them. It's a girl of 38 years old that we know for 34 years. I swear last week I saw her face from when we met her first. Sorry. But again, it's the only thing, there's a lot of war rooms that were opened, and one of them, very big one in New York, and I'm heavily involved in this one. But again, a lot of it is just getting the support. I reached out to Senator Booker, I reached out to the president, I reached out to anybody. And I'm in constant touch with them, everything. Just today they were in News 12 in Israel. I got the video, I'm posting. So whatever we can do not to be silent. I know tomorrow there's a big event, not tomorrow, sorry. Yeah, tomorrow there's a big event in the morning in the city. On Thursday there's a big event in the afternoon. Constant touch with everybody there. But as I said, a lot of it is really the world opinion and stuff. We need to continue and push. We need in any, I don't know if anybody has connections, please help us to bring these people back. We don't know what they're going through, and God forbid, and nobody wants to know. And I was talking this weekend with my friends there and the parents, and they're like, we want her back, we don't care. We don't care how. So any help and any idea, and please, I'm open to any idea if there's anything that we can do, and not to mention all the charities and donations, and very, very much thankful, and we will continue and do those, but to me it was important just to mention those two very critical things that each one of us can help in them as the days pass. Thank you.
Just if you turn, thank you, Hagit. Another psalm, page 4 in your packets. Psalm 122. Can you sing the last two verses of this? A song of ascents of David. How delighted I was when they said to me, "Let us go up to the house of Adonai." Our feet stand at your gates, O Jerusalem. Jerusalem rebuilt, a city knit together, where the tribes once made their pilgrimage, the tribes of Adonai. Testimony by the people of Israel of their gratitude to Adonai. There we found the seats of judges, thrones of the house of David. Seek the peace of Jerusalem. May those who love you be tranquil. May there be peace within your ramparts, tranquility in your palaces. For the sake of my family and friends, I pray for the peace I seek for you. For the sake of the house of Adonai, I seek your welfare. The last two verses can be sung in the Hebrew. Leman achai v'rei, leman achai v'rei, adabrana, adabrana, shalom ba.
Adonai Eloheinu avak shatov lach leman beit Adonai Eloheinu avak shatov lach. Now, I'd like to call on my colleague, Rabbi David Bachman of Temple Beth Shalom, to share some words with us.
I'm not going to stand here and tell you how bad I feel. I could, but actually looking out and seeing, I've only been in Fair Lawn for just a little over 2 years, but I've been in Bergen County for about 18 years now in New Jersey, and I look around, I see a lot of people I know, and I feel better that we're here together. And hopefully some of you looking at me see somebody you know and you feel better, but I just want to tell you something that as much as I think I know you and you know me, that's only a certain amount of depth that we know each other. And if we say we look at somebody and we recognize their face, that's not the same thing as knowing each other. And there's a very important principle in the Talmud. It talks about like if you have somebody who has a dog and the dog bites somebody else, right? And the dog has done it multiple times, then it becomes muad, it becomes a suspicious dog. You have to be careful of it. But if it's never done that before, you don't have to suspect that it's going to happen, only if it's done it repeatedly. But the Talmud tells us, Adam muad leolam. Human beings are not the same as animals, as much as they may behave like animals. Human beings are always suspect. You can never trust what a human being is going to do because they're unpredictable. We don't understand ever what's underneath the actions of a human being, what's buried deep down that makes them do what they do. And that's why it's so surprising and so difficult to live in society and to live with other human beings. But until we understand what is underneath, we really can't be sure of what we're looking at. And the same goes not just for each of us. The same goes for what's happening in Israel and Gaza right now. Because you can look at Gaza, you can look at the videos that are taken from the drones of the buildings crumbling, the bombs coming down and hitting things. But if you know anything about the history of the Gaza Strip in the last however many years, you know that what's happening on the surface is only one level, and it's not the most important level. And especially now that there are kidnapped people taken into Gaza, probably the most important things that are in Gaza, the most valuable things, those human lives, those are underneath. Those are buried below street level in the tunnels that make up the city underneath the city. And as much as we can try and come in and blow up all the buildings in Gaza, that only touches the surface. So we have to be careful that when we say we want to take out Hamas's ability to challenge us, to attack us, we don't only look at the surface. Because really the most important things are buried deep down, and that's what makes it dangerous. That's what makes it unpredictable. We have to somehow not only believe what we see on the surface, but we have to realize that there are more things going on, the most important things that we need to know beneath the surface, underground, deep down. When we remember that, we will remember the stance we have to take towards these people we're dealing with. Thank you.
now hear Cantor Krasner recite El Malei Rachamim, the memorial prayer for those who have died in this conflict. Please rise if you are able.
El Malei Rachamim, Shochein B'Meramim, Ametzei Menucha Nechona, Al Kanefei HaShechina, B'malot Kedoshim Teorim V'Giborim, Kezoharakia Ma'azirim, Lanishmot HaKedoshim Ezrachei Yisrael Ve'artzot Habrit V'Takedoshim Shenechamu B'chom Archot Yisrael B'Machteret V'Yitzvaharen Al Yisrael Shenirtzachu Ein Hamas Ve'ozrehem Yimach Shemam Ve'zichram Bavor She'anu Mipalelim Leilui Nishmotayem Ana Baracham Yasirem Beseitek Nafav Leolamim Vitzror B'Trachayim Nishmotayem Vitzror B'Trachayim Nishmotayem Adonai Unachalatam Megan Eden Etei Menuchatam V'yanuchu B'Shalom Mishkvoteihem V'yanuchu B'Shalom Mishkvoteihem V'tamor L'cho Yisrael Zechutam V'yamtu L'goralam L'ketzayamin V'nomar Amen.
Several, you may take your seats. The three of us consider. Several prayers, several tefillot have been written in the past week and a half. I hate it when prayers need to be written so hastily for such a reason. On October 9th, our colleague, Rabbi Michael Rose Knopf, shared the prayer that you can find on the back page on page 8. The God of Israel is known by many, many names, so many different aspects. And we'd like to share this prayer beginning with the name that we just heard, that Cantor Krasner just addressed God as, El Malei Rachamim.
El Malei Rachamim, God who is full of compassion, who transcends all worlds and yet is close to the brokenhearted. We cry out to you in this devastating and destabilizing moment. As it is written in our sacred writings, we pour our hearts out like water before your presence, and we raise our hands to you over the lives of your innocent ones. You who are known as Matir Asurim, God who liberates captives, watch over and be with those who have been callously and cruelly abducted, soldiers and civilians, men, women, and children. Have compassion upon them and bring them from suffering to relief, from darkness to light, and from subjugation to redemption, ensuring their swift and safe return home. Somech Noflim, God who lifts the fallen, send comfort and strength to the bereaved families and friends of those who have been brutally and brazenly murdered. Let the souls of our lost loved ones find perfect peace in your eternal embrace. Bind them to us in the bonds of everlasting life, and help us ensure their memories endure always as a source of blessing.
Adonai Rofei Cholim, God who heals the sick and the injured, send a full and speedy recovery to the wounded, and grant all those providing care strength and wisdom, resources and resilience. Sur Yisrael v'go aloho, Rock and Redeemer of Israel, shield all our brothers and sisters in our holy land with the serene shelter of your sukkah of peace, Sukkot Shalom. As it was written in the manner of David your servant, pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Sha'alu Shalom Yerushalayim. May those who love her rest tranquil. May there be peace within your walls, tranquility in your palaces. For the sake of my family and friends, let me please pray for your peace. For the sake of the dwelling place of the infinite our God, let me seek your good. Adonai Tzvaot, infinite one of multitudes, guard and protect those who defend our brothers and sisters in our holy land, granting them courage and clarity, and equipping them to overcome and subdue those who would harm and then hide behind the innocent.
Ribono Shalom, sovereign and teacher of the world, shine the light of your truth to Israel's leaders, officers, and advisors, guiding them to see your image in all people, aligning them your standard of righteousness, and planting in them the precepts of liberty, justice, and peace taught by your prophets, so that they may advance the age when bow and sword and battle will be banished from the land, and all may lie down secure. Chovev Amim, lover of all peoples, ready us to rescue our holy land from the spilling of blood, and remembering that you have called upon us as your children to safeguard one another and to dwell together in peace. Steady us with your spirit, so that together we may make justice roll down like water and righteousness like a mighty stream, and speedily bring about the day when nation will not rise up sword against nation, and they will never again learn war. We'll now turn to back one page to page 7. Achenu has become, is always the song, the prayer recited during the weekday Torah service, praying for Jews in difficult situations. And it has been sung all over the world in gatherings such as this for the past week and a half. Page 7. I'm with you.
Achenu kol bet Yisrael, Achenu kol bet Yisrael, Hanetunim batzara, batzara ubashivya, haomdim ben bayam uben bayabasha. Achenu kol bet Yisrael, Achenu kol bet Yisrael, Hanetunim batzara, batzara ubashivya, haomdim ben bayam uben bayabasha. Amakom yirachem, yirachem aleim v'yot תהיה מצרה, מרווחה ומאפנה ליורה, ושיבו לגאולשתה, בגלה ובזמן הקריב. המקום ירחם עליהם ויוציאם מצרה, מרווחה ומאפנה ליורה, ושיבו לגאולשתה, בגלה ובזמן הקריב. אחינו כל בית ישראל, אחינו כל בית ישראל, הנתונים בצרה, בצרה ובשביה, העומדים בין בים ובין ביבשה.
Yasher Kochach, Cantor Dubinsky, Yasher Koach, Cantor Krasner, Yasher Koach, Rabbi Wiener, Yasher Koach, Rabbi Bachman. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this evening. There are posters in the back and throughout with QR codes for donations. We recommend the Jewish Federation of Northern New Jersey's emergency fund. Every dollar is going to Israel, and that is who the Masorti movement worldwide is partnering with, the Jewish Federations of North America, as well as Friends of the IDF. So please, please make your contributions. We are going to conclude with Tikvah. Afterwards, in a few moments, we will daven Mariv. We will pray the evening service. Please rise if you are able.
Olot balevav enima nefesh Yehudi omiya ulfate Mizrach kadima ayin leTzion Sophia, od Avodat Tikvateinu, Tikvah b'shnot apayim, liot am chofshi be'arteinu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim, liot am chofshi be'arteinu, Eretz Zion Yerushalayim.
Thank you to, you may be seated. Thank you to our Borough Council members, Gail Rottenstrich, Deputy Mayor Christina Catrone, and of course, Mayor Kurt Peluso. Thank you everyone for joining us.